Good morning and welcome to the show. Have you ever had a problem with your garage door? I know as a homeowner that can be a real vexing chore for you to do. For weekend warriors like me, a project like that, I'd lose an eyeball or a finger or something trying to fix it. Well, I got someone here, Philip Trammell, who's an expert at garage doors, and the name of his business is Garage Door Doctor. Welcome to the show, Doctor.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being had. You know, you heard my little brief intro here, and everybody's got a garage door story. I mean, if you have an automatic garage door, it's only a matter of time till something goes wrong with it, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, something as simple as the kids playing basketball and the ball bouncing off that little electric eye and knocking it off.
Safety sensors.
Yeah, to, you know, your unit burning out.
The main culprit down here is the salt air.
Oh,
the salt air really takes its toll on the door, the springs, and the opener.
Should homeowners try to fix it themselves?
We ask the homeowners to help maintain the door. Spray all the moving parts, lubricate it once every 2 months, but anything other than that, they should call a repair service. You know,
I've got a couple of garage door stories, and one of them was a neighbor of mine had gone away on vacation, and his daughter was home alone, and she came and said, "Oh, geez, we got a broken garage door. Can you help us?" And you know, I walked next door, and there's this garage door just, you know, cocked and tilted right. It was off the tracks, and the springs and cables are tangled up, and I'm like, "Oh my God, what do I do?" You know, and I just kind of cut the cables and close the door, and well, you're going to have to call a garage door guy when your dad gets home.
Right.
And it's a real, now that could be a dangerous situation.
Absolutely. I'm surprised when you cut the cables, the door didn't come crashing down.
Yeah.
All the weight of that door is carried on the spring. Everyone thinks that the opener actually is opening the door, when it's in reality, it's the spring, the torsion spring, that's what carries the weight of your door. So when you cut those cables, you're releasing the tension on that spring, and the door's going to come crashing down.
Wow. So yeah, so the weight of the door is supported by that spring.
Correct.
And all that little motor does is kind of nudge it up as if you were lifting it.
Exactly.
You know, in our house, in our old house, the problem was someone would always lock the garage door by hand.
Right.
And then, of course, you push the button and it's not going anywhere and you're stripping out gears.
Exactly. We tend to remove those locks for that reason right there. You could be off at work, the kids come home, they lock it inadvertently, you not knowing, you hitting your remote, you end up burning up your opener.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened in my house. So it's probably a good idea to take that lock off.
Absolutely.
Or disable it somehow when you have an electric garage door opener.
Absolutely, because when the door's in the down position, it's in the lock position.
So it's as good as locked when it's closed.
Correct.
So why need an extra lock?
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, listen, we have to run off to the local weather. This is intriguing. I'm intrigued by garage doors, people. So this is intriguing stuff. But on the other side of that, let's talk some more about garage door maintenance and some of the products and services that Garage Door Doctor offers.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back after your local weather, brought to you by the West Pittman Law Firm, westpittmanlawfirm.com. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Philip Trammell, otherwise known as the Garage Door Doctor.
Correct.
And welcome to the show again, Doctor.
Thank you.
And we have here a sample garage door.
This is everyone wants wood. No one wants the maintenance of wood. So this is a steel back insulated panel.
Well, maybe we can hold this up and folks can get a look at this this garage door that looks like wood, you know, but it's relatively light. It's aluminum, I would imagine. Right?
Steel.
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 Okay. And insulated, all that stuff.
Correct.
Now, you would install this. You can come and take out an old garage door, right? Now,
Yes, sir.
What happens to the old garage door?
We actually recycle all the materials that we take down from someone's home. And at the end of the year, Thanksgiving and Christmas, that recycled fund is used to put food on the table and presents under the trees for our locals.
Oh, how cool. So, actually, it's kind of a smart thing to do then. Because when you put something large like that, you take something large like that, you got to get rid of it. You got to do something with it.
Absolutely.
You know, it could wind up in a landfill or just sitting in your backyard behind the shed. Yeah, someday I'll get to it. But you guys take it away.
We haul it off so you don't have to worry about it.
And you recycle it.
Instead of it going to a landfill, we put it to towards recycling.
You know, in the previous segment, you talked about that torsion spring.
Yes, sir.
That supports all the weight of these doors. Because, you know, this is a light thing here. But as we talked about during the break, you know, you put how many panels? 4 panels?
4 panels.
4 panels of this, and you know, you've got a pretty heavy thing.
Absolutely.
So the weight is supported by that torsion spring, which actually kind of brings it up. How dangerous a thing is that torsion spring?
We've actually gone to jobs where homeowners have tried to fix it themselves, and they're missing a digit now. They're extremely dangerous. They can shoot off. I've heard of stories where they've shot through people's heads, which that's not good. And the gentleman didn't make it, but they are dangerous.
So get a professional.
Yes, sir, absolutely. And if it's not Garage Door Doctor, any of our competitors, but it's in your best interest not to do it yourself.
Don't mess with those springs.
No, sir. Don't even touch them.
Yeah.
We don't even touch them unless we have to.
And I think I told you the story. You know, I had burnt out a motor and I replaced the motor to my garage door, but I just couldn't get the settings right to get that thing to go down and come up. It was just, you know, I wish I would have hired a professional.
Well, you would have shaved a lot of time off your day if you had.
Yeah, yeah. And are they very expensive to do?
No, sir. I mean, garage doors can range anywhere from, say, $600 up to $1,500. Just depends on what you want.
Yeah. Single car, double car, 3 car, whatever.
Absolutely,
you know?
the different styles and finishes that we offer as well.
Yeah, and you have a pretty wide selection, as you can see. I'm going to pull this out. We only got a few seconds left, but this is pretty cool too. Look at that.
That is our carriage style door.
Carriage style. That's so. You've got a wide selection of things that will fit the decor of your house.
Correct.
You repair doors as well as install them
and service them.
How do we get in touch with you?
You can go to garagedoordoctor.com, or you can reach us at 850-242-1555.
GarageDoorDoctor.com. Philip, thank you so much for coming on the show, and thanks for keeping us onto our thumbs and eyes and all
Thank you for having me, Don. I appreciate it.
And we'll be right back after your Mad Hatter Minute.
Hi, this is David Lovett, and this is your Mad Hatter Minute. The engine coolant can be best described as the lifeblood of the motor. Antifreeze, also known as engine coolant, is a fluid that helps maintain optimal engine temperatures, and it has to be changed from time to time. Keeping your antifreeze fresh is very important. Over time, the inhibitors in the antifreeze that keep your car from overheating start to break down and lose their properties, and that's when problems begin. First, the obvious. Your vehicle is likely to overheat, especially in the summertime. The extreme heat created by the engine combined with the extreme outside temperatures can result in an overheating condition which can cause some serious damage to your motor. Secondly, in wintertime, your car is not protected from the cold. Freezing temperatures can cause the coolant inside your vehicle to freeze and expand, which could crack your engine block. Lastly, a condition known as electrolysis can form. Your vehicle actually generates electricity. Your engine is protected by the inhibitors in the engine coolant. When the inhibitors begin to break down, your protection is lost, and your engine block starts to corrode from the inside out. You have to change your engine coolant in accordance to your manufacturer's recommendation. Most vehicles today have extended life coolant, which means that the coolant can go for 100,000 miles. Check your owner's manual or ask a trusted auto repair facility when you should have your coolant exchanged. I am David Lovett, and that has been your Mad Hatter Minute.
Hey folks, this is Joshua Brown with Mad Hatter on 23rd Street. Is your check engine light on? If it is, text MADHAT28, that's MADHAT28, to 24247.
Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Dr. Stephen Favaloro from Forest Park Animal Hospital, and we're going to talk about some things you should know how to do for your pet before you need to bring him in to see him.
How you doing, bud?
Good to see you, Doc.
You too, man.
Thanks for popping in.
Thank
We've got this. I've got this list you sent me of do-it-yourself procedures pet owners should learn how to perform at home.
Absolutely.
And the top of the list is what do we got? Remove and save parasites. Not one of my favorite things to do.
You know, we get a lot of calls though. People are like, I found this growth on my dog, or I found this thing that fell off, or I've got this little worm that I saw in the stool. And you know, a lot of times common things happen commonly, so a lot of times, you know, just through a basic description, you know what a flea looks like, you know what a tick looks like. But I've had a lot of people, surprisingly, you know, bring in their bag a tick and they have no idea what it is. which is surprising to me. And then, you know, tapeworms are pretty common. They would see that in the stool or it'd be hanging on their skirts. So, but, you know, they can get lice. You know, they can get other things.
But it's always good to bring it in, too.
Absolutely.
If you're not sure what it is.
If you're not sure, put it in a little baggie, zip it up, and bring it to us, you know. And, you know, if we've not seen it before, we can put it on a microscope and take a look at it and get a better identification.
Which kind of brings us into number 2 here, which is collect bodily fluids.
Yeah. Well, you
what
know.
What fluids are we talking about?
Well, routinely, like when you go in for your vaccines, we always do a stool check for parasites. So they consider that part of bodily fluids. You know, you can come in and we can retrieve it, but the dogs aren't always really appreciative of that.
No.
So, you know, if you can get a sample before you come in, you know, then we can use that. You know, a lot of dogs will come in for, you know, urinary issues like straining to urinate, or I saw blood in my dog's urine. You know, if you can catch that in a clean container, then a lot of times we don't have to catheterize them. Or a lot of times when they come, you know, I always love this, they'll bring their pet in because it's got a bladder issue, and you know we need a urine sample, so they'll let it pee on the tree right before they come in, and now they don't have anything in their bladder.
Sample,
right?
yeah.
So if we can catch that, that helps out a lot.
Now, another thing on the list that pet owners should do is take photos and films.
Man, you know what? With the advent of the iPhone and iPad and all these things, you can sit here all day. We can sit here for 20 minutes and you can try to describe to me what your dog's doing. But if you can take a 30-second video, like yesterday I had this lady bring in her cat because it was making this funny sneezing noise. And she had 2 minutes and 30 seconds of video that we sat there and watched. And never in 2 days would she have been able to explain to me what that cat was doing. I mean, it really helps. So if you know, if your dog's like having an episode, you know, or you know, intermittent lameness, or you know, making like sneezing sound or coughing, if you can catch it on video because it happens frequently enough, picture paints 1,000 words. You know? Yeah,
I guess it does. And then grooming your dog.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people bathe their dog, you know, when it's necessary. Yeah. Longer, you know, haired dogs, you know, people bring them to the groomers, but you know, it's not the worst idea in the world to brush your dog, just to even get familiar with what's going on in their body, any new bumps, you know. Keep them from getting matted, you know, because those mats, when they sit on that skin, you know, that doesn't breathe. So a lot of times you shave it off, there's a nice little skin irritation going on.
And we bring the dog to a groomer, and she gets her little haircuts and her manicure and all that stuff. You know, I tried to cut the dog's nails, but she's got black nails.
Yeah, that's difficult.
It is difficult, and then you hit the quick, and the dog's in pain. And
yeah, well, and they bleed all over the place, and then you're like trying to find something to stop it, and the dog's running around your carpet bleeding everywhere it steps. And and then, of course, they're apprehensive to do it again. Now you're more apprehensive to do it again. So, you know, if you go to your vet, a lot of times they'll show you, you know, where to cut. Of course, the white nails are easy because you can see the quick, you know, but the black ones are a little more difficult, but there's certain anatomy spots that you can see that if you stay away from, you're fine.
Yeah, so pet owners shouldn't be afraid to cut nails.
No, if they've never done it before, then have someone show you how. And now if the dog's not cooperative, that's going to be difficult. But, you know, once again, the more you play with your dog's feet, the more you do these things, they'll get used to that, and then
just
it won't
be familiar with your animal.
Absolutely.
I guess. And then I got to confess, number 5 here, I have never done to my dog, brush and floss.
Yeah, that's a difficult one because, you know, we'd like to see people brush their teeth, their dog's teeth more. Practically, most dogs won't let them do it. Certainly cats won't. But there are some that will, and it really helps because we see so much dental disease in veterinary medicine. And a lot of that could be prevented just by, you know, cleaning. Flossing maybe more difficult.
And how often should you do that to your dog?
I tell people twice a week because I think that's more practical. I mean, ideally, you'd like to see them do it every day or every other day. But, you know, asking someone to do something that you know that they're practically not going to do doesn't make any sense.
Well, we only got a few seconds left, but cook is one of them. Sometimes your dog's on a special diet, so you'll have to cook.
We see a lot of food
prepare
allergies.
Things for them. Yeah,
absolutely.
And another thing that pet owners should do is manage their ears and skin folds.
Absolutely. You know, we see a lot of these English bulldogs, French bulldogs. They come in, they got all the skin. You know, take a cotton ball or a wet washcloth and just wipe through those folds.
Yeah, because they get little rashes and
well,
stuff.
They collect dead skin, dead hair. It just sits there. It's just like having a sock on you never take off.
Yeah, that's kind of gross. Well, Dr. Favaloro, thanks so much for getting us smart on the 7 things we should know how to do to our dogs.
It's been my pleasure.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Thank you, sir.
We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Valerie Sale from the Bay County Commission and her friend, Baby. Welcome to the show, Valerie.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Oh, thanks for coming on the show, and thanks for bringing Baby along.
Yes.
Now, what does the Bay County Commission have to do with Baby?
The Bay County Commission actually runs Bay County Animal Services. And so basically all of the animals that are unwanted in Bay County or picked up as strays or you know, from even from the municipalities go out to Animal Services. We get something like 8,000 animals per year at Bay
Wow.
County Animal Services. And so we've really stepped up our efforts to get as many of those animals as we can adopted out to good homes.
Oh, geez. And how did, now what's Baby's story? Do you know the story behind her?
Right, so Baby's about 5 years old, and she is ready to go home with somebody. She's
Oh, she's crying.
she's
She's
a
even
little
saying it.
nervous. Yeah,
She's like, take me home.
this is her first
baby.
TV show, I think, but she's a really sweet puppy. She's about 5. She's very calm. She's a terrier mix, about 30 pounds, so she's pretty, but just the right size, you know. And she's ready to go to a good home. The adoption fee is $25, which is actually one of the many changes we've implemented at Animal Services. The adoption fee went last fall from $75 to $25, and so that's obviously in an effort to make it easier for
Yeah.
people to get an addition to their home. So
Yeah, that seems like a pretty big nut. I mean, $75 to adopt a dog.
That's right.
But $25 is within
Right.
everybody's reach.
Right, and by state law, they have to be spayed or neutered. And so fortunately, in Baby's case, she's already been fixed. So she's ready to go straight home with someone. So if anybody's interested in adopting her, and we hope they are, she's available at Animal Services.
At Animal Services, good grief. So what if you have a dog that you can't take care of? I mean, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Often people will adopt dogs because they're cute, and then, puppies turn into dogs, and then they're not so cute.
Right.
And it's just like having a child or...
Sometimes
You know.
that happens, and people do deliver animals to Animal Services, and so we make every effort to see if we can find them a good home. One of the things that we've recently done is gotten a trolley from the Baytown trolley, but it looks a lot different now. We had it wrapped, and it's got some big pictures of animals on it. It says Bay County Adoption Trolley, and so people will see that roaming around town, and there are animals available for adoption, and it'll be going to various events and things like that, and so they can hop on the trolley and take a look at what we've got.
So there will actually be dogs on the trolley?
Oh yeah, there'll
for
be
adoption?
dogs and kittens and cats and
Oh, how do we find a trolley?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's we've just kicked it off. We had it at the Bay County Government Center last week, and so it will be going around to various events. People can check on Bay County's website, which is www.baycountyfl.gov, and as we get a more regular schedule, we'll get something.
and
up
then we'll
there.
find out where this
Yeah.
animal trolley will pop up next.
Right,
We have
but-
to run off to a break real
Sure.
quick, but on the other side of that, I want to talk about what people can do to adopt pets and talk about the expense of all that, too, and the responsibility that goes along with
Yep.
being a pet owner. And we'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Valerie Sale and her friend Baby, who is up for adoption. Hi, Baby.
She's so good.
Yeah, she's a sweet dog.
Isn't she sweet? She's just been sitting here calmly the whole time.
Now,
She's
the
really
Bay
sweet.
County Commission is pretty much in charge of this function of people who do not want dogs or animals in general. And I know during the break we talked about how people will come and just drop off a whole litter of puppies and say, hey, do something with that.
That's true. Unfortunately, we get thousands of unwanted animals every year, and so we do everything we can to try to get the ones that can be adopted to
Well,
good
not
homes.
all the dogs or animals that are
Right.
dropped off with you can be adopted. Some may be diseased
Right.
or aggressive or who knows what.
That's true. Unfortunately, many of them are ill or have behavioral problems and just can't be adopted out, and so that's an unfortunate reality of it. But
And you have to take them all.
right, we have to take all of them, and so but we're doing everything we can to get the ones that can be adopted out good homes,
And you can
so-
only keep them so long.
right. I mean, we have they're
Healthy, infirm, or otherwise,
Right.
you can only keep them so long before
we're
they
getting
either-
new ones every day. Yeah.
Before they either have to be adopted out or put down. And I know you mentioned during the break that you work with some rescue groups to help relieve that pressure on.
That's
you
certainly
guys.
right. We do work with a lot of rescue groups. There are a lot of breed-specific rescue groups, groups that are interested in labs or
Greyhounds,
boxers or
yeah,
whatever.
that's a big
Yeah,
deal.
and
Yeah.
so they'll come in and help us and get some of those animals adopted out on their own. And so that's important. We really appreciate that. We get some beautiful animals at Bay County Animal Services, and sometimes they're mutts, but many times they're full-bred dogs too. So if people are thinking about buying a full-bred dog somewhere, they maybe should take a look at what we've got to offer at Animal
Yeah.
Services. There may be something
For
that they
$25,
want.
you can get what you want.
That's right. For $25, it's a pretty low adoption fee, and that includes spay neuter that includes first round of shots and flea and tick treatment and microchipping, which is very important that people get their animals microchipped, and so it includes a lot. And
that's a real bargain for what you're getting.
Right.
I mean, $25 doesn't even begin to cover the cost.
Right. I mean,
caring for these animals.
That's true, and that's something people should think about too. Having an animal is a big commitment, and so that's something to consider. Cats may be a little less than dogs.
I'm not a cat guy, so
but we want to see them all get good homes, and so we're working to do that. And anybody who is thinking about getting an animal, we would invite them to do that. A lot of people may not realize where Animal Services is located too. It's up 231, about 12 miles off of Bayline Drive, and so. People can get directions for that on our website, and also look through the animals that are available for adoption on the internet at www.baycountyfl.gov.
Valerie Sale, thank you very much for coming on the show and getting us smart on how to take care of these animals.
Thanks for having me.
And always remember, spay and neuter your pets.
Yes.
We'll see you next time.